In the first failed proof for the truth of the Bible, Bob Dutko, nationally syndicated Christian talk show host and apologist, tried to argue that the number of manuscript copies which exist for the Bible, and especially the New Testament, somehow helped evidence the truth of what these manuscripts claimed. But as pointed out, Bob errs in conflating accurate history with a large number of accurately transcribed manuscripts. Dutko then attempted to make an argument regarding the exclusion of the Apocrypha from Protestant Bibles as his second proof that the Bible is true, but never made the appropriate connections. How does the exclusion of the Apocrypha help prove the Bible true? With his third proof, Dutko claims that Scripture makes scientifically accurate references that no one at the time of their writings should have known. These are references that only modern science has been able to confirm.
The number 3 proof the Bible is true is science itself. Science confirms the Bible. Let's look at some things in Scripture that make scientific references that at the time nobody scientifically should have known that. For example,
before we will examine these proofs in their own individual episodes, Dutko lists a number of proofs already covered in previous series on this channel. Dutko lists verses from the Bible which he argues describes the spherical nature of the earth.
Thousands of years ago, a lot of people assumed that the earth was flat, yet we read in Isaiah 40:22, "He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy and spreads them out like a tent to live in." Job 26:10 says, "He has inscribed a circle on the surface of the waters at the boundary of light and darkness."
That topic is comprehensively covered in the series What the Bible Got Wrong, A Flat Earth. Dutko also pulls verses from the biblical book of Job.
It's interesting. We know today, scientifically in cosmology, that star groups Pleiades and Orion are bound gravitationally to each other. But of course, this wasn't known thousands of years ago, and we read in Job 38:31, "Can you bind the beautiful Pleiades? Can you loose the cords of Orion?" Thousands of years ago, when the Bible was written, the assumption was that the earth was flat and that it was sitting on some kind of a surface, some kind of a foundation, some kind of pillars, something like that. There was absolutely no reason to believe that the earth was actually in space or suspended on nothing, if you will. Yet Job 26:7 says, "He spreads out the northern skies over empty space. He suspends the earth over nothing." They had no way of knowing thousands of years ago that vents exist on the bottom of the sea. Yet Job 38:16 says, "Have you journeyed to the springs of the sea or walked in the recesses of the deep?" It certainly wasn't known when the Bible was written that air had actual weight to it, because it turns out that air itself really does have an actual weight to it. Yet we read in Job 28:25, quote, "When he imparted weight to the wind and meted out the waters by measure."
Each of these and other similar assertions are dealt with in full in a 7-part series under the title The Amazing Scientific Accuracy of Job. The remaining verses Dutko uses to evidence advanced scientific knowledge in the Bible will now be taken in turn, each with their own separate examination episode. Funding for this program was provided in part by the generous contributions of viewers like you via Patreon. Consider joining them at www.patreon.com/Bible Skeptic. Thank you.